I'm gonna talk a little louder with this because I've noticed the music. I'm gonna talk a little louder. Why is it not muted? Sorry about the audio overlap there. Damn, I always forget to unmute it. Anyways, I cannot find the proper settings, and yes, my Steam name is Linksy right now. I can't find any settings for audio controls, basically, which kind of sucks, but whatever. This is a free-to-play visual novel, choose your own adventure thing that's on Steam right now. It was a new release. I don't know how new of a new release it is. But like the other thing, this is like a full windowed thing. I mean, I have it windowed so that I can move it around to check, but I'm not going to much because it takes up the whole friggin' screen, basically, and it would be kind of stupid too. When I click off of it, the audio stops and the visual stops, so I'll use a second to explain this. But yeah, I know nothing about this except that you play a character named Alice, and I read the about. You can customize Alice in the beginning, and I guess with her stats, I'm assuming, and you'll get an inventory eventually. All interactions are clicking and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see. I like this music though. It's very beautiful piano music. But let's start. New game. Welcome to Bottom of the Well. This game is a visual novel, meaning it is a mainly text-based piece of interactive fiction, a book where you get to decide what happens next. Most of the gameplay consists of picking your choice from a selection of options, which will further the story. Bottom of the Well does have some gameplay aside from multiple choice, though the most important of which is the kind of Alice, our protagonist, you're going to play. For your first playthrough, we recommend you use default Alice, but the customization is there to be used. Even if you complete the game, a different Alice might have a very different experience. If nothing else, you might just find a new way to die. Oh, that's nice! Thank you for playing our game. So this might have like a horror element to it. Oh yeah, there's like survival, dating, social life, fitness. So I guess this is Dark Alice? Oh, this is gonna be a problem for me. Because the windowed version is not letting me read all the text. Oh, shit. I don't know how to go back. No, I'm gonna go back. No, I'll go back. Okay. Hold on. Back to main menu. Can I fiddle with the settings? I can't. Okay, I'm gonna just exit this real quick. I'll reopen it. And, I'll open it in just full screen so that I can actually read things. Wouldn't that be a savvy idea? Wouldn't that just make a fuckload of sense? I didn't think I'd need it to be full screen, but I guess it is. So yeah, it's made with Unity engine. So we're not gonna I'm not gonna read the chat. So if you come in and you want to chat amongst yourselves. I'll never know any different. Okay, new game. Yes, we already know this. Come on. We know it. We know it. Yep. Okay. So what is Dark Alice now? Dark Alice is an Alex min-maxed for maximum ruthlessness and efficiency. It is not recommended you pick her as your first Alice. She will almost certainly be able to survive most of what the world throws at her, but she will not be able to reach the absolute final ending. Oh, fuck. Okay, well, let's just do the default. Default Alice is capable of finishing the game to its true ending, but not necessarily through all the branches. Hey, I wasn't ready! I want to read it! This Alice is career-motivated, friendly, somewhat lazy, a hopeless romantic with no survival skills at all. She makes up... You keep interrupting me! Stop it! She makes up for it by being a good organizer. Okay. We'll just accept it and start, because I don't know any different. So, oh, can I turn down the music? No, I can't. Today I had the weirdest dream of my life. I'm waiting for Joe. Oh, hi. Morning, eh? Morning. Did I click? Did you catch the anniversary reading last night? No. Well, I tried, but I fell asleep. Listen, about that. You fell asleep? Oh, come on. Alice in Wonderland is like our favorite. Let me finish. Something happened. I was tuning in on my radio. You're such a Luddite. Amazing I can even catch you online. Shut up. I'm not a Luddite. I just like analog things. Anyway, I was tuning into the broadcast, and I must have hit the AM switch or something, because suddenly the channel changed to something else. What? Aliens? Oh, government-run number stations? No. It was this weird, like, white noise at first. It's hard to explain why I was so drawn to it. I could hear snippets of some melody, maybe lyrics, but the signal was weak. So you turned it off and continued looking for the Alice broadcast. So I went out on my balcony and turned the antenna around until the signal came through clear. It now sounded more like music with the odd signal in the background. When logic and proportion have fallen sloppy dead, and the white knight is talking backwards, and the red queen's off with her head. Oh, so somebody's pirate radio broadcast of golden oldies. I felt like there was something else there, some message that the music was hiding. I know it sounds weird. And then I fell asleep. What a story. No, hear me out. I dreamed, and I didn't know I was dreaming. Do you understand? It was entirely lucid, but like waking up in another world. Except I didn't think of it as another world. Does this make any sense? You had a super lifelike dream where you didn't know you were dreaming, but you were still lucidly in control? Sounds pretty rad to me. I'm sure it would have been, except for the whole end of the world apocalypse bit in the dream. Okay, now you got my attention. So is this how it starts? So like I said, it was the end of the world. Everything I did that day felt like the real thing. Every smell, every sound, every color, every touch. It's important you know that. I wasn't acting like I wouldn't a dream. I didn't know it was a dream. Heavy. So we're just calling him the Mad Hatter then? That's fun. There was no warning, no build-up, nothing. Just between one moment and the next, the TV had turned to the emergency alert system, and this voice that sounded like it had been recorded in the 60s told us we were under attack. Were you alone? Yeah. I'd had a really long day at the office, so I'd sworn off all social contact for the evening. I had the TV on in the background just as noise. Wait, what? The office? You mean you got some kind of real adult person job in this dream of yours? Okay, I'm gonna take a second just to say, I like Alice in Wonderland, but I have this kind of like knee-jerk reaction of like irritation with it because I have a friend who is obsessed with it, but kind of like feels like a shallow obsession, you know? I don't know how to describe it. But, I mean, she liked Tim Burton's version of Alice in Wonderland, which means I just can't. I can't. Like, I don't even know Alice in Wonderland that well, but the Tim Burton's version is, like, really, like, I prefer American McGee's version of Alice, to be frank. Anyway, the fact that we're just calling this guy Mad H for now is just making me want to punch him in the face. Because he looks like a pretentious goth with a teacup. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, actually, at the college, student admissions office. Hey, don't sound so surprised. I am going to graduate in just a few months, you know. Okay, so she's like 22. Uh-huh, with a BA in English Lit. Shut up. Such skill with words. Anyway, what happened next? Like I said, the TV suddenly turned to the emergency alert system. Jacked the volume all the way up, too. I didn't even know they could do that. The broadcast told us we were under attack right now and that we needed to get to shelter. That we had less than 30 minutes before the bombs hit. Jesus, sounds scary. At first I didn't want to believe it. I switched the channel, but they were all the same. And then the sirens started. Tornado sirens, flood sirens, I don't know. And I knew things were serious. So what'd you do? Oh, okay. Oh, Chess. So we have a friend named Chess. Oh, boy. There's our Cheshire cat. We're gonna say we tried to call Chess. Chess? Who's that? My, boyfriend. I mean, I don't have a boyfriend, but in my dream I did. Wait up. Tell me more about this sudden new boyfriend of yours. I thought you weren't in the dating scene. Actually, I've been thinking about putting myself out there. Like, maybe some online dating or something? Although I'm kind of afraid to check OkCupid right now. What if there's a guy named Chess? Good icebreaker. Hi, I'm Alice. I dreamed about you last night. You were my end-of-the-world buddy. Honestly, if I went on OkCupid and found a guy named Chess, I'd be like, so is it short for Chester, or did your mom hate you? Funny. Aren't I just? You were saying about Chess. What kind of a name is that anyway? See? Short for Chester, I'm presuming. I wasn't really. I mean, yeah, he was pretty hot, I guess, and smart and into me. I mean, what more could you ask for? I can sense you blushing all the way over here. Maybe I should check my OkCupid profile, actually. So what did your boyfriend think? Well, first I tried calling him, but all I got was a pre-recorded network busy message. But the net still worked, so I hit him up there. I mean, we did most of our communications in chat anyway. And I found him, but there was no time for, well, anything. I started typing, you know, holy hell, WTF is going on style stuff, and he just tersely replied he had to go. It's a little blunt. He told me he needed to go get his sister. His sister? How come? He'd mentioned her a few times. She's disabled but lives in a house by herself, out somewhere in the boroughs. Did he ask you to come too? He didn't ask. I did. I'm going to be outside my apartment in 5 minutes, he said, then logged off. I guess that's an invitation of sorts? So what did you do? Well, I knew that Chess wasn't going to wait for me. If I wanted to go with him, I had to go right away. Just grab my stuff and go. Making quick decisions in the spur of the moment? Doesn't sound like you. So what'd you do? I went with Chess to help him out with his sister. So I decided to go with Chess. I mean, how couldn't I? He clearly needed help. Altruistic. How long have you been dating? Cynic. Long enough to know my feelings were real. I mean, they felt real in the dream. Where'd the sister live again? In a borough, practically the suburbs, so pretty far. Chess said he usually takes a subway or a bus. Chess actually lived just down the street, and we always had a customary place to meet. We didn't even need to confirm the place anymore, but it didn't seem very likely we'd be able to catch a bus or the subway. So how are you planning on getting to the sister? In less than 30 minutes? Oh, spoiler, the bombs didn't start dropping on us within 30 minutes. It took longer than that. They did start, though. Well, that's lucky. Yeah, well, it didn't mean we weren't in a hurry. But you didn't leave empty-handed, though, right? Oh, right, yeah. I grabbed the biggest bag I had. A backpack. People always called it magic. You could fit so much into it. Bigger on the inside and all that. Oh. Hello, inventory. Okay, we're gonna take a flashlight, a radio, spare clothes. Do we take everything? Take the map. Take a sleeping bag. Take food. Take food. Take food. Take food! Why do you not take food? Take food, I said! Take the food! Fine, don't take food. See if I care. Go on. Burrow, sister, bombs incoming. How did you plan to get there in the chaos? The chaos. Yeah, the streets were nuts. Everything and everyone was going crazy. Oops. Crashes everywhere, but no one was responding. The street was completely gridlocked. I'm talking maybe 15 minutes after the first announcement here. All it takes is a few cars in the wrong place. But you live pretty centrally, right? It had to be better further out. Did Chess have a car? No, but if we wanted a car, there were tons around. People just left them, keys in the ignition, and ran. Holy shit, it really must have been bedlam. It was. I was so scared. So, steal a car or walk? We discussed walking. It was like 14 miles or something. It'd probably take at least 4 or 5 hours on a good day, and this wasn't a good day. Maybe a good start, though. Things might clear up outside the downtown area, and you might be able to steal a car there. Appropriate a car. Stealing sounds so criminal. Heh, whatever you say. Any other options except stealing, appropriating a car and hoofing it? Something in between. I know a guy with a motorcycle. He really loves that motorcycle, but I wondered if maybe he'd be willing to borrow it. I mean, for fuck's sake, we were going to go rescue a disabled woman. You know him well? Reasonably. I didn't know you knew how to drive a motorcycle. I'm a woman of many talents. So, what'd you do? Let's go with the motorcycle. That sounds good. The motorcycle seemed like a good idea at the time, except that when we arrived at his building, the first thing I saw was him outside, prepping his ride together with a group of similarly attired, similarly equipped motorcycle guys. So much for borrowing a motorcycle, then. He recognized me when I approached. He looked pretty distracted, packing up the saddlebags on the motorcycle with all kinds of things. But he stopped for a second to talk. Hello, I see you're making your escape. Would you happen to have a spare slot in your escape room machine? He said he was headed towards a fallout shelter. When I asked him what he was talking about, he told me there's an old shelter down on 3rd, under the Rad Bar. Your old hangout? What are the odds? Anyway, he said he could take me, that he knew the owner of the place. Sounds like a good alternative. What did you think? Well, Chess immediately said no thanks. He looked at me. What'd you tell him? Let's go get your sister. So no daring escape into the sunset on your motorcycle with bombs going off behind you. What a pathetic excuse for a power fantasy this dream of yours is. Bro. Right in your eye. Huh. I don't think it ever was a power fantasy, or necessarily fantasy at all. Anyway, I still had to make a choice, and I'd already lost a lot of time. Let's try stealing a vehicle right away. By your description, this seems like kind of a bad idea. Well, finding a vehicle was easy, but they'd all been abandoned for a good reason. They weren't going anywhere. I had to find one I could feasibly get out of there with. An abandoned one you could feasibly get out of there with. Right. So how did that go? And what did Chess have to say about this? He was game, anything to get to his sister faster. But he figured we'd make better time if we split up. I went for the car, he went to scout out a route. Sounds like a plan. I wasn't really sure what I was looking for, just that I needed a car stat. I found a station wagon open and with a key in the ignition. No sign of the owner. Jumped in and gunned it. Got maybe half a block before I hit a complete traffic stop. Everyone was beeping. People were abandoning their cars. All traffic rules forgotten. I'm not sure what else you expected. Yeah, well, I decided walking was the best option. So this was kind of but you must walk. The whole downtown area was gridlocked. Cars everywhere, people running on the sidewalks and sirens blaring. It was like one of those disaster movies. No hope of driving anywhere at any rate. But where was everyone going? Most of them were going home, I think. People were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And there you were, running away from home. Once I made my decision, I stuck to it, no matter how much I was filled with doubt. Half an hour was nothing at all. But luckily, that estimate was completely wrong. Sometimes I'll walk half an hour in the wrong direction just because I stubbornly refuse to believe I'm lost. Well, good for you, bro. I didn't know what was the right direction, but I did try to get there as fast as possible, although that was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I was swept up in a mass of people and manhandled in the wrong direction more than once. Okay. Every few minutes I stopped to consult the map to make sure I was going in the right direction. Was there any danger? Like people attacking each other or something? No, I thought we were all going in the same direction, but then I realized that the crowd was heading somewhere I hadn't planned to go, a subway station. What'd you do? I was swept along. It was that or get trampled or pinned against some wall. I finally managed to disentangle myself with the stalled mass of people just outside the entrance. Apparently it was closed and people were trying to break through the gates. By the time I was out, though, I'd lost a lot of time. Time? Yes, isn't that the thing you're fighting here? How far away were you planning on getting? Well, a lot farther than I had gotten at that point. I could practically still see my apartment building. But the crowd was slowly thinning at least, and I actually saw a vehicle in motion. An ambulance weaving between stalled cars with its sirens blaring. What'd you do? This would be a great time for zombies to show up, you know, just saying. Let's just keep walking. Just as single-mindedness was what led me. I was pretty sure this was a monumental mistake and that we'd get caught outside and killed for sure, but I couldn't just leave him. So we kept walking. So how did that work out for you? You think it was easy? People had driven out in the sidewalks and left their cars. Everything was a mess. I tried going down the main highway, but it proved pointless and I had to backtrack. I didn't say it was easy. Did you consider running? Because running works so much better than walking. I half ran and jogged as much as I could, but it felt like being late for class. I got tired almost immediately, while the goal was still as far away as ever. Chess wanted to go faster, but he slowed down when he saw I was struggling. The worried look on his face went nowhere, though. Well, once I got away from the downtown area, things were much smoother. I ran as fast as I could, as far as I could. No bombs. Still no bombs. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my luck. But I knew I was pushing it now. What did you do? We were getting closer, so we kept walking. So did you make it? Maybe the bombs were just a scare. No, they weren't. I saw it as a glow high above the town. What? You were outside when the bombs fell? I don't know. I thought I'd have time to get away, but I just wasted too much of it somehow. I was out in the street when the initial shockwave came. There was just no duck and cover could have saved any of us there from that, I don't think. The next thing I know, I'm showered in glass as every window above us shatters. Cars swerved off the road and crashed. Bedlam. And light. Bright, bright light. I tried to crawl out of the way when something hit me. Maybe a piece from a building, I don't know. I blacked out. You have a really fucked up imagination, Alice. It didn't feel like a dream, that's the thing. Because you don't wake up in dreams, do you? But I did. Bleeding alone out in the street. What did you see? I thought it was gonna, like, make me choose. I was like, probably nothing good. I saw a burning city. Ash rained down, and downtown, far too close, a mushroom cloud just staring me in the face. It was the end of the world. I just knew that there and then. Jeez. And then there was a streak of light, and it was actually almost beautiful as it fell from space. Just a streak of light at only a slight angle. I just had time to think, no, we've had enough, before it hit. For some reason, I elected to stare right at it when it impacted, above the ground in a terrible fireball. Ugh, please tell me the dream ended here. Yeah, I didn't really see it though, but I died, eventually, in the dark. And thus concluded my dream. Well, that was interesting. What do you think? I think it felt incomplete, like there was something missing. That wasn't the way it was supposed to end, you know? Dreams are supposed to end in certain ways. This one was, I think. It felt like it was trying to tell me something, but I wasn't listening closely enough. Maybe you can try again next night, see if you hear the same recording. Speaking of, what frequency was this on? That's the weird part. When I tried to see, I realized I hit the right channel, and that was in fact reading Alice in Wonderland. And this isn't exactly some obscure numbers station frequency on the AM bands. Well, maybe you'll dream it next night again anyway. That's the good thing with dreams. You can always dream them again. And maybe do something different the second time around. Okay, so I guess that's the end of my first run. I got blowed up. I got blued up. Okay, we can skip credits. I mean, it's great, but we don't need it. We don't need it. Boy, I wish this wasn't full screen so I could... Oh! Better prepared and first death. Good, I got achievements. I love achievements! Okay, I don't know how long I've been recording, but we're gonna try one more time. And thankfully we can skip shit this time. A randomly generated Alice. A custom Alice. Some dark Alice. She's a canny super... Just canny super something. Can I customize her? Clicking on the icons will give you a short description of what they are. Press the plus to add a point in the... to attract a point. Invest all 9 points. Okay. So these are all maxed on fitness, survival, and supplies. I don't think we really need to focus on dating. Let's try Dark Alice, just because it told me not to the first time. And I've already done it the first time, so let's try it. Oops, I hit the mic. Dumbass me. Dream Diary, September 13th, 2015. Today I had the weirdest dream of my life. I'm waiting for Joe to come online. Okay, so this asshole's name is Joe. But he goes by Mad Hatter. I hate him already. So much. Okay, skip. We don't need to see that again. Yes, we can skip. Woo! Alright, I went online to find out what was going on. Didn't you try calling someone, like your parents? Of course I tried, but it was futile. The phone network was completely overworked. But the net still worked fine. So what'd you find? The net was still working, but the bandwidth was severely lacking. The major news networks were either down or overloaded, but all the big search engines defaulted to some kind of government site in super simple HTML. That kind of confirmed it really was the real deal. Isn't the net supposed to be some kind of DARPA invention anyway? Wouldn't be surprised if they had some kind of system in place to take it over if need be. Well, they hadn't taken it over. You could still go wherever you wanted. Facebook still worked. Apocalypse-proof servers? Nice. It was insane. I tried to get in touch with my brother. He's the only one who's even got an account. There was no reply. I spammed my aunts and sent an email to my mother, but I don't know. It felt like I really needed to find someone right there and then. And nothing. I just pretty much described my online presence. Although I did take the opportunity to search for closest fallout shelters to my address. Clever. And I found one, down on 3rd, although the site said it was decommissioned. Still, I wondered if it wasn't worth a shot. So what happened next? You know, I did find you online. That must have been useless. I'm all the way over in Old Blighty. Unless things were different in your dream? No, you were still in the UK. The bombs had already started falling there. You disappeared. There was nothing more to do. It was only a dream, Al. Don't call her Al! People call me Al. Because my name's Allison. Don't do that! You're making it too real, man. Sure. So then what? I immediately tried to call Chess. Okay, we can skip that. We already know about boyfriend. Fallout shelter seemed like the best option. The old fallout shelter was down on 3rd. It wasn't far, close enough to walk anyway. Did you think to bring anything? Oh, right, yeah. Yeah. Are you automatically filling it? What the fuck is that? The closest thing I have to a tool in my house. Small enough to slip in my pocket at least. Oh, is it like pliers? That are like fucked up on the handles? I don't know. What's this? My GPS runner's watch with a real-time map. Nice! Alright, let's take a first aid kit. Flashlight, it's always good. and the radio. And take food. Take food. See, it works this time for me to take food. I can't take more food? Stuff it in my actual inventory? Okay, fine. We took food. We like food! Well, go on. What was it like? Did you run into trouble? You could say that. God, that shelter. So I headed towards the shelter from my apartment. I'll admit, I was still kind of hoping it was all just some kind of big false alarm, and by tomorrow everything would be back to normal. Like an extreme version of Orson Welles' War of the Worlds broadcast. Actually, the panic that radio show caused was greatly exaggerated, probably by Welles himself. And it worked. We still remember it today. Great ad campaign. Guess that English Lit degree is coming to some use at least? Yeah, well, it didn't really feel like it. I remember trying to think of words to describe the way the streets felt, the way the city sounded. Turmoil, chaos, anarchy, tumult, pandemonium. The capital of hell. Now, who's got a degree in Lit? Stop stalling. The capital of hell is not really, like, poetic. You know, like, maybe I'm being picky, but I don't think you need to be, like, an English Lit major to think of that phrasing. Yeah, it's just so fucking damn. Like I said, everything felt so real. The panic in the streets, the accidents everywhere with no emergency responders showing up, and the ever-present siren. It was like everyone walked with their eyes to the sky, just expecting to see a flash. Did you make it to the shelter okay? The shelter was actually in the basement of a bar. They used it as storage, which was handy since there was a door towards the street. But there were no signs or anything like that anymore. I just knew about it from the Facebook conversation. Okay. Wait, isn't that the bar you always go to? The Rad Bar? Oh, look at that subtle change. Yeah. Go on, Alice. Did you get in? I went to what I thought was a side door. It wasn't the kind of alleyway I'd usually hang out in. I could just imagine junkies and hobos sleeping among those trash bags. Anyway, suspense is killing me. So I knocked on the door and then immediately tried the handle. It was locked. Nothing happened for a while. And then the door opened just a bit and she stuck her head out. She? The bitch queen. She was this redheaded chick who had taken charge of everything in there. Ha! Red Queen. She was the one who originally posted about the place, so I guess she felt she owned it somehow. She stood there in the doorway looking me over, and then basically said, "We're full." Like it was an exclusive club. I can't believe they just keep you out for no good reason. Was it actually full? Ha! Not a chance. There was a sign on the door that said capacity 100. There was just no way there was 100 people in there already. I said as much. She didn't reply. Guess you didn't just let it be at that? Yeah, I didn't. Cause this one's kind of a bitch, Alice. She's not really, like... We're not giving up. Let's try to push the door open. We're strong. I wasn't having any of this shit. The door clearly said capacity 100 people. There was no way there were 100 people in there. So what did you do? I pushed with all my might. She was stronger than I thought, and wilier too. She kicked out my foot and tried to force the door closed with a quick push, but I didn't fall for it. Wow, guess all that future Dreamview gym time must have paid off. Yeah, one step, then the next, and wham! She was stumbling backwards into the room behind, and we were in. So she let me slip in, closing the door behind me with a bang. Bang, bang, he shot me down. I barely had time to get my bearings before she started taking command again, telling me to hurry up and empty my bags. Empty me bags. Empty your bags. She had some kind of notion she should be in charge of the supplies. And what did you say to that? I asked who the hell put her in charge. Holy shit, Alice, I didn't know you had it in you. I don't know. I was tired, stressed out of my mind, panicking, and the bitch tried to keep us outside, and now she wanted my stuff? I didn't have time for her shit. Go, girl. Oh, God, that phrase. How'd she react? Stunned that someone would actually stand up to her? What did she have to say for herself? She said she was the proprietor of the Rad Bar and therefore the legal owner of the Fallout shelter, and that it was the It was only out of the kindness of her heart that she allowed us inside. Allowed you, huh? Tell me about it. I reminded her nuclear war was about to go down out there and that whatever bullshit ownership ideas she had were quickly going out of date. There would be other forms of currency soon enough. Jeez, Alice, this was, what, half an hour after the announcement? You got real fast. Yes, I mean, this was kind of what I'd been preparing for. I was just mentally in that space, I guess. Anyway, a lot of people stopped and took note, and she went quiet. Wait, so what are these things up here? Did she leave you alone afterwards? The place had maybe 20 people in it, us included, but she stayed away from most of the rest of us. So, yeah, she did. Were you the last to arrive? No, soon after us there were some others. These she let in without trouble, embracing one of them. This big burly guy with a motorcycle jacket. Hey! Someone you knew? Kind of. I think his name was Ray. He liked his motorcycles. I don't think he recognized me, though. But the place was still empty. Yeah. Soon after, though, there was another knock, and this time the bitch queen tried to do the same thing she did with me. What did you do? I stepped in. Damn right. When I raised my voice at her, she just turned red. What was your approach? Did I mention I was damn fit in this dream? I didn't give her a chance to protest. I just pushed her away and opened the door to the people outside. She tried jumping me. Cat fight? Oh, did I miss something? But my friends backed me up and pulled us apart. And then her crew, Ray and his friends, showed up, and all of a sudden there was a whole fracas. The people waiting outside took the opportunity to stream in, although half of them just slunk into the shelter. And the other half? Why am I not lighting up? Joined in on the fracas, of course. So I guess in the end you won? Well, the alternative was that she would have won. What happened next? The end of the world happened next. The bombs. We were all underground, down a set of stairs leading to the actual bunker. It was filled with barrels and barrels of beer and other drinks, but at least there was light. For a while. So it actually happened. The nuclear war? Yes. We had a radio with us, and we all sat clustered around it. At first, there were sporadic reports that the U.S. Music change. The U.S. missile defense team was working, and that it was shooting down the incoming warheads. But then the signal turned off, and a few minutes later, we felt the rumble. Holy shit. But you were okay? The shelter did what it was designed to do, yeah. Although at one point, there was a terrible sound just above, and the shelter was briefly filled with dust. I was pretty sure we were all dead. People were screaming, babies were crying, the lights flickered and died. It was the end. Holy shit. Your subconscious wasn't joking around. We subsisted on candles and flashlights and waited for the radio to come back. It did, after a while. What did it say? Just about expected fallout patterns. It sounded very recorded, but I guess there had to be someone alive up there still clicking the buttons. But even that ended after a little while. Wow. Okay, so how long did you stay down there? Well, the radio said there was a cloud of radioactive ash coming our way within 24 hours and told everyone to stay inside until further notice. Then it died. So, I guess you stayed at least 24 hours then? Of course. The problem came when we tried to leave. What? Well, the shelter was underground, underneath a big trapdoor. And the house above had apparently collapsed on the trapdoor. We tried to open it, pushed and pushed, but it wouldn't budge. Damn, that's like a real nightmare, buried alive. Well, we had food down there for a while, and if we started drinking beer with our meals, we could probably stretch it out for weeks. Of course, then we'd all be kind of drunk all the time, too, but what then? Wouldn't you run out of oxygen first, though? Can I... Oh, that's the music! I could have turned that off at any time. What about these things? Do these do anything? Just acknowledgement of things I have? Oh. It's just my inventory. Okay, whatever. Maybe there'd be rescue? Maybe. But what if there wasn't? What did the others think? Ray and his queen wanted to sit tight and wait for help. A few of the others wanted to find an alternative way out, maybe through one of the ventilation shafts. A third option would be to keep working on the trapdoor. It opened out, but if we removed the hinges and got it to collapse inward and then dug through the debris, radioactive debris. Yes, but the radio had mentioned fallout falling down within 24 hours. Staying put even for just a few days longer and then trying one of the other options might be optimal. Anyway, people were getting very antsy, so it was time to make some kind of decision. So what'd you do? See, I'm worried about waiting for rescue because rescue relies on other people being alive. Let's look for a ventilation shaft. Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you get your air from the ventilation shaft? Well, yes, so it was kind of risky to go messing with it, and we all knew that. But the trapdoor didn't feel like a good idea. Neither was just staying put, so it was a shot. So what did you find out? Well, I stood on the shoulders of some of the others and managed to dislodge the grate on one of the shafts in the roof. I shone a flashlight in and saw it was just barely big enough for one thin-shouldered person. Like me! Sounds like someone I know. Yeah, I might be thin-shouldered now, but in the dream I was considerably more buff. I tried, but I couldn't fit. You have the weirdest, most specific dreams. I mean, seriously. Yeah, no, it was specific. Anyway, we asked around for other volunteers, but no one wanted to do it. It was a very small shaft, and no one knew if it actually could be traversed or not. What if you just went around the bend and then got stuck? How would anyone get you out? So what did you do instead? Try to enlarge the ventilation shaft. How the fuck would you enlarge it? Well, we're not gonna give up, because that automatic death. Let's try enlarging it. That seems kind of dangerous. Well, it felt like a better option than the trapdoor. At least there was a potential path all the way to the surface. Yeah. Well, we tried to pull down the metal tube, figuring that it would enlarge a hole, at least a bit at least. That was not the best of ideas. I was working underneath it. Uh-oh. Yeah, turns out it's not a good idea to go messing with the roof. Oh no! Something must have gotten loose during the bombing, some load bearing this or that, because as we hammered and hacked away, it cracked. Oh shit. I really wish the dream had ended with me just getting my head smashed in with a chunk of concrete, but no, of course not. The roof collapsed. I tried to get away, but I got knocked out. When I woke up, I couldn't feel my legs, probably because they were buried underneath all that rubble. Jesus, Alice, you have a really fucked up subconscious. It took a while. I think it must have been either internal bleeding or shock of some kind that finally did me in, but not before I begged and cried for hours. There was no one to help me. Just me, the darkness, and the crushing rocks. And that's concluded my dream. Okay, so I'm gonna... Is that the end? Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna go through another round of this. It's interesting, but I feel like it's a lot of, what do you want to call it? Guesswork, a little bit. It's kind of like when you're playing Long Live the Queen, and hey, I got an achievement, better prepared. There's only 5 achievements. I don't know why. Oh, because you have to. Okay, anyway. But yeah, it seems kind of like Long Live the Queen, where you die like a fuckload of times until you figure out how not to die and like where to put your skills and all that. So, you know, maybe I'll play this again sometime because it is interesting. I want to know why the title "The Bottom of the Well" is involved because I did not get to go to a well yet. And I don't know if it's a metaphorical thing or not, but seeing as how the intro screen has me looking up from a hole, I'm gonna presume it might not be. But yeah, it's interesting. The Alice in Wonderland references are kind of annoying, but that's just a personal thing for me, and mostly just because it reminds me of my friend that's just kind of annoying about Alice in Wonderland. You know. Like, to the point where she liked to be called Alice sometimes, like, just jokingly. Quote-unquote jokingly. Anyway, But yeah, it's an interesting game. I think it's worth a look at. I want to know how many routes there are to it, or like how many ways you can die, because there's only, I think, 5 achievements on here. So I imagine there's maybe 3 other ways you can die. I could probably look at the achievements myself on Steam, but I'm not gonna. But yeah, I think that'll do it for now. I might stream another game later. If you came in yesterday, you probably noticed I was playing Spore, and I'm really sad about this. I wish someone had said it in the chat, because I hadn't noticed until I tried to rewatch it, but there was so much graphical glitching, and I'm assuming it was because of my recording software. Every time I tried to change the colors on my alien, the screen had like a colorful seizure while it loaded, and for me the game was full screen, so I could not see this, and no one said anything in the chat room. There were like 6 people by the end and no one said anything. So for real, like, feedback does really help me. Even if I don't see it while I'm playing, seeing it after I'm done playing is actually a really big help. So if there's ever anything to give me feedback on, like, hey, there's a graphical glitch with blah blah blah, or, you know, the volume is really loud at blah blah blah, I might not be able to change it while I'm playing, but at least after I'm playing I can keep it in mind. But I basically had to delete that recording because it was so terrible. Like, it wasn't even just like a flash of color, it was like the whole screen was like a seizure of bright colors. And I don't have epilepsy, I'm not like really photosensitive or anything, and it kind of hurt my brain to look at. So I knew I could not in good conscience upload that on YouTube or even keep it on here for people to watch old videos, because I don't want to be at risk of that. I don't want to like hurt somebody or anything. So unfortunately my Morpy alien is not gonna make it anywhere. So anyway, like I said, I might play this game again sometime. I'm also wanting to play a little more of Grim Fandango, because I actually, like, I was pretty lost when I first played, but I figured some of it out, so I want to try out playing it again. And yeah, so other than that, I think that's about it. I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Shit, I forgot. I actually have to close the stream first. Before I had to close the game, I couldn't close the stream. Okay, bye for real now. Adios.